Although some of you here on the channel are, like myself, huge fans of both Gran Turismo and Forza, for some of you I know you may be playing, later this month, as crazy as it still is to say it, Forza for the first time on the PlayStation. So going into that, if you are a Gran Turismo fan, maybe you always have been, what do you need to know going into Horizon 5? Some tips and tricks for the game in terms of getting ahead in this game, what to expect, so that you can just get into it straight away and not really feel like you're being left behind or left out of the community. The first thing, in my opinion, is by far the most important, not for Forza as a whole, but specifically for Horizon 5, and that is, don't bother wasting your money or spending it too quickly when you first start out the game. There are so many cars in this game, especially compared to the more recent Gran Turismo titles, and so many of them are so desirable, cars which you've either never seen in Gran Turismo, or maybe if you're a JDM fan, you haven't seen a Gran Turismo for at least years at this point. The temptation is there to just spend all of your cash on all of these cars. The reason why I would say don't bother doing that is because this game is the complete antithesis to Gran Turismo 7 in particular when it comes to wheel spins. You get them far more often, and you on occasion get triple spins, and the reason why I say don't waste your money early on is because you simply don't need to. Save up all of your cash early on in the game, spend it sparingly on modifying the vehicle. Of course, here on the channel I will be doing tons of tuning. More often than not, especially for cheaper cars, you will win them many times over. One of the really cool things in Horizon 5 is you can actually gift cars to other people in the community, so if you've maybe got two of something, rather than selling it if it's a super cheap car, you can just give it away, and another player will randomly be gifted that car, which is a really cool thing to do. So in other words, don't waste your 10, 20, 30 grand on lower level stuff, because chances are you'll probably win it pretty soon anyway. Save up that cash, and occasionally you'll find out a bigger, more expensive vehicle which you don't see come up too often in a spin, you know, a classic or vintage car, a supercar, hypercar maybe, and even then you will probably end up winning it at some point. The second one is more of a housekeeping kind of tip, and this is again to just kind of measure your expectations. Be prepared for updates. Now this one comes with an asterisk, and that is because I don't really know how it's going to fare in terms of updates compared to the Xbox version. Even recently on the Xbox there was another update for the game, and on the Xbox it takes quite a while, at least with my internet, which is fine on the PS5, but on the Xbox it takes a lot longer to download. You have way more updates, it seems, to do in Horizon 5 than you do in Gran Turismo, and the difference is not all of them are like new cars and stuff. It's not like DLC updates, it's more so like new aspects of the game, but also bugs and fixes, which is why I said I don't know how that's going to fare on the PS5 versus the Xbox. Some of that I would assume has probably already been ironed out or learned from, so I would imagine there shouldn't be as many roadblocks when you first start playing the game, but in a general sense, be prepared to set aside some time to update your game before playing it. And also, if the update speed is anything like it has been in the case of the Xbox version, I would recommend maybe logging into the game ahead of time, rather than say you've been at work all day, you get home and then try and play the game, and now you've got to wait for an hour or whatever for an update. Try and get ahead of that and check for updates, or check the community to see if there's any upcoming updates fairly regularly. The third thing is one which will be very, very familiar, and this will be a common recommendation from hardcore fans of Horizon 5 and pretty much any Horizon game, and that is to embrace the Horizon Edition cars and their perks. What these are basically special pre-tuned versions of certain vehicles which you can tune even further. One of the prime examples being the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento in Horizon Edition form. It's one of the most beloved cars by the community. It's an absolute monster. It's faster than the already very quick Sesto Elemento, but the key thing about many of these cars is they bring significant perks along with them, which will often be improved performance in addition to stuff like cash perks, etc. So don't sell those necessarily. If you win more than one, then absolutely you could get rid of it, but when you get them the first time, I would strongly recommend that in most, if not all cases, you keep them. The next aspect is something which is already technically in Gran Turismo, but for those who have never played Forza, this will probably be extremely overwhelming for you, and that is get creative to maximize both your enjoyment in the game and also your benefit from the game. Within Horizon 5, the game is so much more expansive than Gran Turismo in terms of how rewarding it is to be creative, and also how many ways there are to be creative. Of course, you've got a livery editor. One of the key differences is, though, you get paid for your liveries when people not only download them, but use them and like them. You also, and of course this is a big one for me, have cash from people downloading tuning setups that you've done. In the case of mine, it's like 500,000 downloads or something like that, which all of those people who are using my builds all the time is constantly bringing in passive income, which has always been one of my favourite things in Forza, because I'm more of a businessman than a racing driver, and I love earning all of that cash when I'm not even playing the game. You can also do stuff like creating race routes, race events, and I'm not even going to get into all of it now. Those of you who have played Horizon 5 will know what I'm talking about. There is so much to do in the game in terms of creativity, and presumably they'll probably bring that out in staggered updates, because it would be a hell of a lot to take in all at once. But yeah, maximize your creativity, because Horizon 5, much like really any Horizon game, but especially this one, is about so much more than just racing, which again is what will be a radical departure for many Gran Turismo fans. The next one is again more of a housekeeping point, but it's what to expect here on the channel in terms of how it's going to tie in, because of course in the past I have done Horizon 5 content. Well, this will most likely be in a new playlist. I might end up putting it in both, I'm not entirely sure yet. For the most part, I will do a lot of my traditional approach, which is top tier tuning. A lot of people see my videos in Forza Horizon 5 or whatever and see them just as like top speed tunes. Although they're referred to as that, they're really not. They're designed to have really good acceleration, really good top speed, good handling if at all possible, to essentially be the ultimate version of each particular vehicle. So that of course will still be a part of the channel. For those who are curious, yes, special projects will be a part of Forza as well. Technically, I already have done a couple of special projects replicas in Horizon 5 in the members section here on the channel, but now that it's coming to the PlayStation 5, Horizon 5 is no longer going to be in the members section, it's going to be on the main channel. So we're going to have speed builds, probably some circuit builds as well, maybe for different classes and point levels, and almost certainly a whole bunch of special projects, including ones which I've already done on the Xbox version, and some which I never actually released, but certainly had lined up. And point number 6 is be open-minded. This is more of a general thing, because I know that for some of you, you are apprehensive. For some of you, maybe you're not even going to initially bother buying the game until you hear from maybe some of your friends who are die-hard Gran Turismo fans who try Forza. Is it worth getting? Do you really want to get it? Which version are you even going to get? Keeping an open mind, I think, is extremely important when just comparing Forza to Gran Turismo as a whole, but specifically when it comes to Horizon 5, many people have this either-or mindset of being fiercely loyal to the one, which in their mind equates to having to hate the other one. That's just not how it works. For one thing, these are not rivals to each other. So in a similar way to how you would not consider TDU to be garbage because it's a Gran Turismo rival, well no, the latest TDU is pretty garbage, but it's not because it's a Gran Turismo rival, it's a totally different thing. So likewise, don't view this as a rival to Gran Turismo 7. The reason why I sometimes talk about it that way is because it will take certain people away from playing GT7 and playing this instead. The game though is just so different to GT7 that it clearly isn't a rival. And when you get into it, it's more of a drive club, the crew, TDU, whatever you want to call it, kind of experience, and I think it's all the better for it. That's why I'm so excited to get back into it, and it's why I'm so excited for many of you to, as I am, play through it again on a new console to see how it compares and feels, but also of course for those who've never played Forza before, to try it out. Keep that open mind, and you never know, you might just find yourself enjoying it a whole lot more than you were expecting. You could still drop into GT7 for the updates and whatever, and of course I'll still be doing that on the channel. Special projects will continue, the news will continue, trailers, silhouettes, all that kind of stuff, but this will be in addition to that. And as another kind of bonus point for this one, something which I've recently done, being as I am playing on the digital version of a PS5, I bought an external hard drive, because this game is going to take up a whole lot of memory, and GT7 already does. Those two games together will take up the majority of a PS5's memory, even if you've got a pretty big memory. Bear that in mind as well. The last thing you'd want to do is buy the game and not have enough space to install it. Another vital tip to bear in mind is one which I believe a lot of even Horizon 5 players seem to overlook, based on some of the costs of vehicles in the auction house, and that is seasonal events. These events run for around a week or so if I recall correctly, and you'll see like 1 or 2 bonus cars that you'll win, and of course many of the events have their own bonuses and vehicles, etc., but a lot of those you'll already own or you can easily buy. You'll have 1 or 2 that are more special though. I would always recommend trying to at least get enough points to win those pair of vehicles, and the reason why I say that is because in most cases you will either never see the vehicle available again, or it will be a very long time before that vehicle will be accessible in any other form, and that drives their prices through the roof in the auction house. Let's say for example in the case of a car that I love, the Lincoln Continental was brought back in an update later on in Horizon 5's life. If you miss that in the seasonal events, it was quite a while before you could get it again, and that made the car millions upon millions of credits to buy in the auction house, which is all well and good for those who want it, making that huge amount of cash, but if you miss it, you will regret it. So really try and keep on top of the seasonal events if you are, as I am, a collector and a completionist when it comes to owning as many cars as possible. I will see you in the meantime with of course more Gran Turismo content, and later this month when we get back into, or for some of you for the first time, Horizon 5.